Okay, welcome. In this video, you might hear the volume fluctuate a little bit. I apologize for that. I will try not to blow out your eardrums. I'm going to keep this video nice and brief, so pause, rewind, fast forward, and rewind again if you need to see something again. But again, I don't have a limited time, so do what you need to make sure you get this done and your work done for today. So you're going to be working through the review, which is multi-step inequalities today, and then you have an option to practice any of those after this review warm-up. So today, you'll see these problems. Pause the video, try these out on your own first, and then come back to it and make sure you're on the right track. So number one, whenever our inequalities are in with the variable first, we like to flip it around, which flips the inequality sign, and then it makes it really easy to graph. So open circle to the right. If you have it written with the variable first, the inequality sign points the direction of the shading. Y is greater than or equal to. Greater than or equal to is that symbol, y and 8. So y is greater than or equal to 8. Number 3, determine whether each number is a solution of the inequality. This is where you need to plug it in. So I'm going to plug in 5 for the x. So 2 times 5 minus 7. 2 times 5 is 10. Minus 7 is 3. Is 3 less than negative 3? No, that is false. So no, it's not a solution. 2 times negative 3 minus 7. 2 times negative 3 is negative 6. Negative 6 minus 7 is negative 13. Negative 13 is less than negative 3? Yes. And then 2, right? So 2 times 2 minus 7. 2 times 2 is 4. Minus 7 is negative 3. Negative 3 is less than negative 3. No, it is equal to, but that's not what the inequality sign is asking. Number 4, write an inequality involving the variable x for this. You go ahead and hear this announcement.
To the conference room. Thank you.
There you go. For this graph, right, it's a closed circle, so I know it has to be equal to. And the shading is to the left. Notice that inequality sign matches the arrow it's shading, as long as you write whatever variable you choose. So I'm going to say t, and then the boundary, negative 5. So in this case, that means t is less than or equal to negative 5. You can hear another announcement.
Larry Kissinger to the conference room, please. Larry Kissinger to the conference room.
Number 5 and 6 and 7 and 8 are all solving inequalities. So again, try these out, pause the video, but then I'm just going to have the work on the board here, and you can check your answers as you go. Okay. So number 6, I'm going to first distribute. Bring down negative 3x minus 6x minus 12 is less than or equal to negative 66. At this point, we need to combine like terms. So we combine these, they're on the same side. I'm just going to take negative 3 minus 6, that's negative 9x. Bring down to negative 12. And then from here, it's 2 more steps. Add the 12. I have negative 9x is less than or equal to negative 54. And then right here is where I have to watch out. When I'm solving an inequality, if I divide by a negative, then my inequality sign switches direction. So it's greater than or equal to positive 6. So greater than or equal to, it's a filled in circle. Greater than is to the right. Number 6, there's a fraction. We all love fractions, but we want to get rid of them as well. So I'm going to multiply everything by 3. The fractions just get canceled out. So I'm just left with what was in the numerator. On the other side, 3 times negative 6 is negative 18. My inequality sign is still facing the same direction. I did not multiply by a negative. Combine like terms, 7 and 5 is 12m. And then divide by 12. So m is greater than, and then this reduces to negative 3/2, or that would be negative 1.5. So negative 1.5, open circle, and it's greater than, so to the right. Number 7 and number 8. Pause the video, try these if you haven't yet. These are good ones to see kind of some weird stuff that might happen. So pause it, And we're back. So 7. I'm going to distribute that 7 and bring down 7x minus 7 is less than 7x minus 21. I'm going to go ahead and combine, get the variables on the same side by subtracting 7x. But I end up with the variables canceling out. Right? No variables. So we got to determine, is this true or false? Well, negative 7 is not less than negative 21. So this is false. So that is, just as before, no solution. On number 8, something similar happens, except you might have noticed what we're left with when I subtract 9x on both sides. I have negative 9 is less than or equal to negative 9. Negative 9 is not less than negative 9, but it is equal to. So this is true. So you might be tempted to say infinite solutions, but this is a great time to say all real numbers. So that means on the number line, I'm just going to mark 0. If it's all real numbers, then that just means I'm shading the whole entire number line. Every single number works. It's not just infinite solutions, because a lot of inequalities have infinite solutions, so we want to make sure we recognize that it's just any number, right? Not from a certain point and above or below. So at this point, you're going to have an option to pick one of these things. Week 7 needs to be turned in before you leave today. That's just going to be graded by myself. So here are your options. Finish the back of the notes from last class. That is this paper. You can see it on the screen. You can finish the solve inequalities practice from last class period. That is this paper. And then you can work on the back of the warm-up from today. That's this. I'm going to have the answers to these questions in the video here in just a second. So you need to pick one of these options that are on the screen after you get week 7 turned in and finish the rest of today practicing multi-step inequalities. So from last class period, the solving practice, if you look up at the top of the screen, you can see the answers. Check those answers. You'll have to pause the video probably, but you can check those and see how you did, even the word problems. Okay. So the e-learning assignment, just remember you have 3 attempts. At this point, if you feel like you practice a little bit more, you can go back and actually do that again. It's a solving multi-step inequalities lesson quiz that needs to be done, that needs to be attempted, otherwise it will be a 0, and it is a lesson quiz, so that counts as more than just a regular homework assignment. Okay? So make sure, week 7, make sure you turn it in before you leave today.